Welcome back to Terrific Tuesday. Myself and Terry Hay to my right or my left, depending upon if you're on the screen or you're in the real world. We come back for Tuesday racing at Parx. Following an okay day yesterday. Got my $10 exacta box to pay off and hit the pick 4 in the second race, I think, with that 6-horse coming in, learning from Steven Fielder. One of the reasons why you might consider going back through some of the Players Edge podcast and Horse Center podcast on our horse racing radar TV station here on YouTube, so that you can pick up some of the kernels that people have dropped with us along the way. That's the one thing I remembered, and quite frankly, the only reason I put that 6-horse in that race.
It's really good. Yeah.
Thinking about going back and going through all of the shows that we had with guests, and then picking out like the 2 or 3 things, or maybe one thing that they said, I feel like could be helpful to handicappers, and putting it like an e-book or something along those lines. What do folks think about something like that? If that would be of interest, let us know. Hey, Don Johnson, how are you today? Thanks for joining us. As always, we appreciate it. We also appreciate it. Well, I'm sure you appreciate it too. Free picks today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Louisiana Downs. There ain't no speed like Louisiana speed. Well, it was really Delta, is what someone told us, a jockey. But if you use the link down in the description below, you can get the free picks today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Night Orb getting the first call in the first race in the 5 furlong this evening, 4:05 p.m. Central, 5:05 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, while you're after the show is over, Terry and I will post. Well, Terry will post our picks, our comments, as well as a replay of today's video at horseracingtoday.net. Just like yesterday, there is a link in the description below for horseracingtoday.net. And while you're there, it's really important that you click on that HRT gear. Get yourself a hat, a sweatshirt, something to support the show. You got 2 days left to save 20%. So if we hit another pick 4 or another best bet of the day or something along those lines, do us a good, get us a hat. How does that sound?
It sounds good to me.
All right. Well, you know what else sounds good to most everybody else? Is the picks. So let's get cracking today with race number 1 in Bensalem, PA.
All right. Well, we're going to start out with a sprint, 5.5 furlongs, a claiming race, $5,000 claiming price, $18,000 purse for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since January 9th.
Yes, and to get that second win, or since January the 9th, that 5.5 furlongs, Profile of a Winner says you best be damn fast, because the speed limit in some places, 55% of the time, the horse that gets to the front stays in the front all the way around the track. Post positions 1, 2, and 3, they are penalized, surprisingly, with that turn coming up. 4 through 7 play fair, and the outside horses really do the best. We have 10,000 simulations for race number 1 to get a sense of who has the best chance to get the lead. And then based upon our projected pace, which horses are going to be in their comfort zone, looking for a score of 50% or more that this race will match some of their best performances. We'll also take a look at a projected par score relative to the par ranking for Brisnet, 76. That means 100% of the time, Marianne Grace in our 10,000 simulations, 10,000 out of 10,000. Nothing happens 10,000 out of 10,000. Also going to try to find some value in our odds. We want to see our horses have lower odds or higher odds at post time than our simulation odds. Terry, a couple of standouts here from early speed, par plus, and some overlays to talk about as well.
That's right. That 3 shows lots of early speed. So unless it has some problems getting out of that gate, it should get to that quarter pole first. And then the 7 shows an overlay of about 3-1 to 5-1. The 8 shows an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 5-1. The 6 shows a really nice par plus number, followed up by the 8. And then all but the 8, or all of them have C zones, but that 8 is really low.
And again, a quartet of them being above 50%. That's the number. And the 4 horses close to that we're really kind of geared in on. Along with simulations, we do what's called trip handicapping, and then pace handicapping over here. So we try to cover all of our bases. You see the 3, 7, and 8, they're E horses. They want to be on the lead. 1, 5, and 9, they're pressure horses. The 6 and the 4, Sesame Street horses. Unlike the others, the 6 horse with that EP designation. Taking a look at this, maybe a horse that has a little bit of ability to be in the mix early on with some late speed might be the right way, or speed of the speed. Marion Grace does look like it's the fastest, maybe 7 years later, giving it a challenge to the inside. As they come around the stretch for home, we once again see Marion Grace at the top of the list, a little bit better than Starship Rogue, although Starship Rogue could be 2 lengths, maybe more off the pace early on. Awesome Pal, the other up-close horse with some late speed in there. Sure does look like from a total pace picture, though, that Marion Grace is the horse to beat. Probably going to be 1 to 5, Terry. Is anybody going to beat it?
No, I don't think so. She's won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick now. She has switched to a high percentage winning trainer, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. The 9 Knockout Kid's my second choice. She won her last race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. 7 Vanishing Faith is the third pick, drops in class today, has a trainer, wins 18% of the claiming races he has a horse running in, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. The 8 Awesome Pal is my long shot. She finished third versus similar in her last race. Her early speed running style will help her chances, so the shorter distance may be a good help for her. What we do is we get a $100 budget every day. And with that $100 budget, we play $2 to win on the first choice, a $1 exacta box on the first 2 choices, 50-cent trifecta box on the first 3 choices, and a 10-cent superfecta box on her first 4 choices. And in this case, there are 10 races, so $84 have been spent of our budget, which leaves us $16 to bet elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. I think that's 6 horse too, and so do the bettors right now. He's 3 to 5 with 13 minutes to go to post. He'll be 1 to 5 by the time they hit the post time. Skip race, but if you don't want to skip it, then the 6 horse, I mean, where else can you get 10% on your money in about a minute and 11 seconds? As we saw in the pace setup, top early speed, top late speed, can't pass what you can't catch. Going to be 1 to 5. Awesome Pal, last time out, stayed a lot closer to the leaders all the way around the track. Number 3, 7 years later, maybe that's the long shot with a chance in here, Terry. Major signs of life in her last race. That was back in May. Since then, the horse has had 2 of its best workouts. Maybe that one could get to the front there, Terry, and pull off the upset. And number 7, Vanishing Faith, the biggest class dropper, was a tough call for me over the 9 horse. Again, Terry talked about the 4 standard wagers we make across every single race that cost $8.40. Go to the track with Ben Franklin. Race number 2, Terry, is what we're going to do next.
All right, let's go to race 2. We're going to go to 7 furlongs. It's claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 4 races.
Let's see, Race Masters, race 1, El Numero Ocho for him. That one's Awesome Pal. Yes, there's always good to have an Awesome Pal. Well, at the 7 furlong race, to get that 5th or that 4th win for 7 furlongs, the profile of the winner favors horses that are middle forward, stalker types. 18 out of 100 go gate to wire. There's a little bit of a rail bonus for Cup of Life. Really, the best place to be is post number 2 or 3. And then if you play it 4 and out, there is a little bit of a discount going out from the rail. Terry, at 7 furlongs, stalking speed helps. So maybe not on the lead, but close to the lead. Probably a few that fit that bill.
Yeah, it's true. There's the most speed in here is the 2, followed up by the 1. They could go head-to-head to that quarter pole. Just depends on who gets out and doesn't have any trouble. The 5 shows an overlay of about 2 to 5 to 5 to 2. And the 5 and 6 show the par plus numbers, and 1, 6, and 5 shows pretty high C zones, followed up by the 2 with a little bit lower.
Yeah, with the speed horses, the 1 horse looks like it'll be the most comfortable up front. Let's see what kind of trip the 1 will get. Well, the 1 could be your loanee. Look out if Cup of Life gets the lead. Everybody else kind of wants to be middle back. So maybe an edge to some of the horses with some early wheels, and it does look like the 1 and the 2 are about a length quicker than CC Unified and Bella Maria. All these other horses want to come off the pace. Even the PC horse in there The 7 horse right now, We Madame, not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line up to their last 10 races. Looking at our late speed, looks like the 5 horse, Luli's Dancer, the pressure horse, has the most late speed with Dixie Groove right in that mix too. You take a look at the top total pace, though. You got a couple of them here that might be a price, Terry. Bella Maria and Anka, the 4 and the 2, grading out as the top 2. Usually the winner comes from the top 4. In this case, we have a tie for 4th. So, it looks like a pretty open race to me, Terry. Which one are you putting on top?
I like this 6 Dixie Groove. She has finished in the money in her last 5 starts and won 2 of those, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Lulu's Dancer, the 5 is my second choice, finished 3rd versus similar in her last race. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey as well. Annika, the 2 is my third choice, ran 2nd versus similar in her last race. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And then CC Unified is my long shot, the 3. She switches to a high percentage winning trainer. She has 3 wins at Parx Racing. We're going to play a Don Johnson Miami Vice pick 4. And I'm going to use the 5-6 with the 5-6, with the 3-4, with the 2-3-5. And that's a $12 ticket.
Yes, the hot dog for Mr. Terry. I think the 6 horse is probably the one to beat in this second race. I'm not a big fan of going back to back, but last time out, the horse ran 1 mile and 70 yards. Maybe moving back to 7 furlongs is the key to this horse finding the winner's circle. I'm in with the 2 horse in the second slot for me. Akna does have the most back class in the field. A really good chance to improve in the second start after layoff, and this is likely to be your pace setter. Luli's Dancer, the 5 horse, that is our big overlay there in the simulation odds. Very consistent performer, cutting back in distance like the 6 horse, but 7 furlongs seems to be a weirder distance for this horse. Likes to finish 3rd. 5 races out, no wins, no seconds, 3/3. So I'm not sure if this one wants to go longer or shorter, but 3rd seems like it's where it wants to be at 7 furlongs. And then finally, Cup of Life, the 1 horse. I think this one could sneak out to the lead. If it does, it is a lone E type. Look out in that 3rd start after layoff, the most classic of handicapping angles. I probably committed a cardinal sin here. I went 1-2-6. I tossed out the 5. So probably just single the 5 in this race, folks, for your pick 4s. And then I went 5-6 in the next race. 1-3-4-5-3-5-9-10. Hoping for some upsets along the way, because this one, if it goes to form, might not pay a whole lot with some really, I think, strong favorites in the first 2 races. The 3rd race is next up on our list of things to do. Terry, take it away.
All right, it's going to stretch out to 1 mile and 70 yards. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price. Purse winning $21,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
Yeah, and at 1 mile and 70 yards, the sort of horse that gets the job done does have early speed, a whole bunch. 40% win wire to wire. A little bit of a rail discount for Tucker Road. 2 and 3, small bonus. 4 through 7, small discount. 8 and out, small bonus. I think you get the picture. Really, no post position is a deal maker or deal breaker, but speed is the deal to the winner's circle, Terry. And whole bunch of them with a chance to get forward.
Yeah, most of them have speed. It's one of those races that who really knows who's going to get there. But the 4 and the 1 show the most speed here. They could go head to head, but just depends on who gets a good break. And then the 3 has an overlay from 5-2 to 5-1, and the 5 has an overlay from about 7-5 to like 9-5. And then the 6 has got has the only par plus number, and then all of them show some kind of C zones.
Mm-hmm. Again, looking for over 50%. Our trip handicapping, a race that's really weighted towards the front runners. So maybe the 1 horse, if everybody out here burns it out, has a chance to close it in at the end. Looking at the early speed here, Terry, does look like should have been gone, will be gone at the start, about a length and maybe half quicker than everybody else when the gates open. At the end of the race, does look like Dudley Dickerson is about a length quicker than everybody else, should be sitting in that co-pilot position. Really well positioned to strike at the end of the race. Our top total pace horses, we got 3 of them, the 5, the 3, and the 6. They're considerably better than the 1, 2, and 4. So maybe key the 5 over the 3, 6 for a cheap exacta, Terry. What do you think?
Well, I like the 6 Edge of Glory as my first choice. Finished fourth in his last race at Laurel as a favorite, but he has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 30% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back. Drops in class today, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. So he checks off a lot of the boxes. Number 5, Dudley Dickerson's my second choice, drops in class today, and the distance won't cause any problems. Should have been gone. The 3 is my third choice. His early speed running style will help his chances, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Major Cam, the 4 is my long shot. His early speed style also helps his chances, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. No additional bets in this race for me.
As much as I tried to get past the 5 and the 6, your 2 favorites here, it's just really hard because they have way outperformed the rest in this group. Edge of Glory, you got the revitalization of Jamie Ness and Ruben Silvera. They are a dynamic duo that have dominated Parx for a long time. This horse drops in class, and its Parx numbers are by and far the best in this field. It's not close for the runner-up position. But Dudley Dickerson does get that runner-up spot, beat the top pick a couple of races ago, rerun that race, and he wins. But it's not as consistent as Edge of Glory. The 3 horse should have been gone, maybe gets to the lead and never gives it up. That's its way to the winner's circle. And then finally, the 4 horse, Major Cam. This is the one Race Masters likes. Better form from the middle out to the finish line last time out. Only problem is this one can't give up too much early on, which it's done in the past. We got Christopher DeSouzanis joining us, race number 1. He's going to put the checkered flag on the 1 horse to get the W there. Starship Rogue at a decent price. Parx boys are doing reverse codes in the past, so I'm going with the 4 horse for the first 3 races. All right. Whatever it takes to get to the winner's circle, we're all game. Right, Terry?
That's right.
So we got 4 minutes to race number 1, so that gives us plenty of time to do race number 4 at Parx. Terry, what are our conditions here?
Okay, it's a 6 furlong race, claiming race, $12,500 claiming price, $23,000 purse for 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
So to get that second W flag and fly it proudly, Terry, at today's distance, what you need is tactical speed. They'll still a bunch, 35%. Take the lead, hold the lead, and go straight into the winner's circle without seeing the backside of another horse. The rail gets a bonus, so 'twas the night. Could get a little bit of a better performance than its 12-1 morning line odds. You have a 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and out are discounted, but the closer you are to the rail, the better off you are. Terry, where can we find the speed here?
Well, as you can see there's 3 horses that are pretty close. The 3's got the most, but the 2 and 4 might have something to say about that. So it's really another anyone guess race. And then the 3 shows an overlay from about 4 to 5 to 7 to 2. None of them show any par plus numbers, and they all show C zones, and they're nice C zones.
Yeah, everybody are up around 50% or better. Trip handicapping wise in the short field, we do see the 1 as your lone closer. Everybody outside the 1 wants to be on the lead, so those 3 got to be careful. Otherwise, they could open the door for the 1 horse to run by them all at the end. You got these 3 right here, the 2, the 4, and the 5 with the most early speed. They should leave Rabbit in the 3rd position, 4th position, about a length off the front runners. At the end of the race, that closer right there, 'twas the night, considerably about 3 lengths faster than everybody else, about 3 lengths off the lead. So it should be a race to the end. So those front runners really burn it off. They could be in danger. Newdorf is your top total pace horse, the speed horse, about a length quicker than everybody but the Rabbit, who seems to be anything but the Rabbit, the tortoise in this case. Terry, who's your winner?
I like the 4 Borracho Concho. He may improve at the shorter distance. He has a high speed figure at today's distance. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Newdorf, the 3, is my second choice. Finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Checking the boxes, the 2, as my third choice, finished third in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer, and he has a good workout on July 3rd. Rabbit the 5 is my long shot, which is the high percentage winning trainer, and his best dirt speed is close to the average winning speed. My second, Don Johnson, Miami Vice pick 4. I'm going to use the 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 2, 5 with the 1, 6, 7 with the 1, 2, 5, 6. That's a $48 ticket.
Looks like they have a little delay over at Parx right now because they're still in the paddock. Oh, is it raining over there or something? No, it still says fast and firm. It looks like it's sunny through the windows there. So I'm not quite sure what the holdup is. Maybe just from the heat to keep the horses from being outside in the blistering sun.
Well, I know yesterday they didn't have post parades because of the heat. So they said they were going to go from the paddock directly to the gate. So maybe that's what they're doing today.
Yeah, it looks like it. All right. Well, I'm going to go with the 3 horse. I'm going to go directly to the winner in race number 4 with Neudorf. That's my top selection there. Looks like the 5 horse just got scratched and open, takes 2 to wiggle. So that could be another reason for the delay. But this one does have the top total pace, 5 points clear of everybody else. Did run faster, early fractions at 6.5 furlongs compared to 6 furlongs in the prior start. Going back to 6 furlongs as your pace setter is helpful. Rabbit making the classic 3rd start after a layoff. Going into a new barn that wins at a nice 20% off the claim. Number 4, Baracho Cancho, also ran faster early on with better early pace numbers. Number 1, Twas the Night. It's another 5-horse race in here, Terry. Can't leave the longest shot off of my picks. I won't ever make that mistake again. And as we saw in the total pace picture, fits right in there as the second top total pace horse. I'm going to go on my pick 4 because I really feel like the back end races are pretty wide open too. So I think the 3 and the 5 are your best 2 horses. So I'm going to go with those 2 on top. Then 3, 5, 9, 10, 4, 6, 7 over to 1, 2, 5, and 6. Again, hoping to catch a price somewhere in the midst of these races, maybe starting in the first one. I don't know how long we have to the first race because I don't really see anything on the screen. So maybe we try. Yeah, it looks like they're heading towards the gate right now. So I don't know how long that's going to take. I think we probably have enough time to do race number 4. Well, it says 4 minutes now. So we do have plenty of time to do race number 5. So let's go about that business.
All righty. Race 5 is a 1-mile race on the turf. It's a claiming race, 12,500. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
All right. So 1 mile on the turf so far. They've only, I think, ran 1 race. It was won by a co-pilot, so someone who sat second or third, and then the horse was on the rail. So really not a whole lot of data to work with. In fact, no data to work with. Terry, without data, we have to rely on this data. So what does this data tell you?
Okay, it shows that the 2 has the most speed in here, followed up by the 4 and the 5. And then none of them show any kind of an overlay that I can see. And the 3, 5, 6, and 7 show the best C-zones, par plus numbers. And all but the 3 have some C-zone numbers.
Rewinding a race, Christopher D'Souza, big on the 1 horse to win with the 2 in his exact Twas the Night and checking boxes, going with 2 of the longest shots in there. Could prove to be it was too hot. That's probably what it is. Who won the 10th race yesterday? I had the winner.
There was no 10th race. They only had 9 races.
Ah, funny. All right. Good. You got me on that one, Christopher D'Souza. Baracho Cancho for Race Masters in the race number 4. He's in alignment with Terry. And then we have race number 1, 4. What? Race 1, 4, race 2. Race 1 to 4, race 2 to 4, race 3 to 4, race 4 to 4. So all over the 4s for Race Masters. We went through the data here. Let's go for race number 5's trip handicapping. Again, everybody wants to be middle back. You can see it bulging towards the backside. Closers and pressure types get to the front. Opportunity to steal this one on the grass. That's Tony's sister. Really not a big gap between the first 5 horses. So really could be a competitive start there. Lip Lock along with Caddy LaBelle. There you go. Those 2 will be coming the quickest at the end. And this race, top total pace, I would really pay attention to your top 4 horses in here. Very strong likelihood that the winner comes from the 6, 7, 9, or 2, 75% of the time or so, but closer to 73%, Terry. Looks like an open race. Who do you got?
Well, I'm going to go for something with a little bit of a price, maybe. The 5 Fast Mule is my pick of the day at Parx. He finished third versus similar in his last race as a favorite, but the trainer wins 36% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Road to Dreams, the 2 is my second choice, finished second versus similar in his last race at Parx Racing. That was his first start on the turf and at today's distance. Number 3, Color Crush. He finished third in his last race. His best turf speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Caddy LaBelle is my long shot. The 9 won her last start at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 21% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse. I'm going to bet $16 to win on number 5.
I'm going to go with Caddy LaBelle. Smashing win in its last effort. And if you kind of look through the off track and the turf record, horse should prosper on the grass today. Fast Mule, Terry's best bet of the day, getting the second call from me. The last 2 times this horse ran on turf, close to what's needed at this level to win. Number 10, Solomon Oath. The last time Paco Lopez rode Solomon Oath, guess what that horse did, Terry? It won. Likely better in the second up and does have the best turf back class. And then Color Rush. Parx turf, 4 times out, 3/3. So yeah, I should have maybe put this one third instead of fourth. And it's surely been facing better competition than the rest. I am going to make a play in this race as well. 5-9, 5-9, 10, 3-5, 6-9, 10 for my trifecta. $6 bet right there. And race number 5, getting a big play from Christopher D'Souza, putting 2 10s on the 7 to win with the 4 and the 8 in the exacta box. Let's take a look at what's about to happen in race number 1, because it looks like they're finally loaded, Mr. Terry. Indeed, they are. And they are off, and they are running. The 6 horse, I thought it would go off at 1-5. It's 2-5. By the time they get to the quarter-mile marker, it'll probably be 1-5. That 3 horse, the one that looked like it might get into contention early on, has indeed done so. It is taken its nose and put it ahead of the 6 horse. Got a little bit of a gap back then to the 7 horse. And Miss Jessica Paquette messing me up, talking at the same time. They went to the opening quarter in 22-2. Yesterday, the horses got to the front, stayed to the front. Let's see if indeed that is the case today. The 6 and the 3 remain about 2 lengths ahead of the 7 horse, who's making his way into the picture right now. Those 3 horses look like they got a good chance to stay up on the front. The 2 horse might be the one that gets into the mix. This race looks like it's going to go 6-3. Maybe the 2 horse finds its way up into third, or is that the 4 horse? Kind of hard to tell. Might be the 4 horse, but they're flattening out a little bit. The 3 is really shortening stride hard. The 6 to 4 horse is going to split those 2. It's going to go 6, 4, 3, 8, and 7. 6, 4, 3, 8, and 7. Lulinda's Heart at a price, 31-1, behind the heavy favorite. And I thought he would go off at 1-5, Terry. He went off at 1-5. Somehow the odds dropped. What is that? From 2-5 to 1-5. Is that a 100% drop?
Yeah, it's quite a bit. So.
But as we mentioned, where else are you going to make 10% on your money in about maybe a minute and 10 seconds or so? However long it took him to run that race.
Yeah.
So I was just a single in your pick 5s if that's what you wanted to do. Let's move on to race number 6 and see if maybe there's a single up in this race. Looks like we both have some agreement at the top of the ticket, but not necessarily as we move through the field. Who do you have as your what do we have in terms of conditions here in race 6?
6.5 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $5,000 claiming price, and it's an $18,000 purse for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won 2 races since January 9th.
We had a whole bunch of 6.5 furlongers yesterday, and you got to the lead, you kept the lead. The 6 kind of did that there. Even the 3 horse at a price, didn't really fade off that badly. 4 horse did come from the back. So normally 6.5 furlongs, speed does hold up 31% of the time. It goes wire to wire. Very strong rail bonus for Luna T. 2 and out. The closer you are to the rail, the better off you are. So give me some inside speed in race number 6, Terry.
Yeah, it's really anyone's guess. Again, there's several of them that show some speed in here. 3, 5, and 7 show the most speed. And then the 4 has an overlay from 5-2 to 6-1, and the 7 has an overlay from even money to about 8-5. 7 and 4 show par plus numbers, and all show C zones, but the 1, 5, and 8 are pretty low.
Our race shape for race number 6 tells us again, you got a lone E over here in Mazel 18. That one can get to the lead, but boy, it does look like it's going to be pretty contentious from the get-go. Only 7 points separating worst to first. Get blocked, get bumped, go wide. Just a difficult trip. Spin your wheels coming out of the gates, and any hesitation, you could be worst. You could be first. Our late speed is probably where this race is going to be won. Luna T, Captivating Carry on Buxom. They're considerably better than the rest of the field, so maybe those 3 is it. Terry, bet the ones coming on at the end. Buxom, Captivating Kara, Luna T, maybe your ice cold trifecta, 7, 4, and 1. What say you?
I like the 7 Buxom as my first choice. Was only beaten 2 lengths versus similar in last start. Has a high percentage winning jockey. And then Luna T, the 1. Second choice ran second versus similar in the last race. The Rail Post is winning at 23% clip, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer as well. Number 6, Mazel 18 is my third choice. She ran her last race. Her best start speed is fast among today's starters. She's actually tied with another. And she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer as well. Captivating Kara is my long shot. The 4 has highest speed figure at today's distance. And her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. No additional bets for me here.
I like the 7 horse too, although I do have some concerns in here. It is running at the lowest level in its last 10 races with better early pace last out. She did regress a little bit as far as speed figure concerns and at the end of its race. And you just rewind through the past performances, and one regression is usually followed by another or maybe 2 before the bounce back comes. So that regression concerns me. The drop in class kind of mitigates it a bit. Captivating Kara did beat Buxom a couple of races ago back in April. And unlike the 7, this one improved last out, intends to improve, stack improvement on top of improvement. So a step forward here today, and Captivating Kara is your winner. Mazel 18, much better in her last race. That was with Paco. Went wire to wire and then geared down at the end of the race. If this one can pop to the front with Paco again, might not be able to gear down, but is a lone E potential. And then finally, Luna T, the 1 horse, has that strong rail edge, running the right distance for this girl. 6 times out, only 1 win, but a couple of seconds in the third. So 5 out of 6 in the money at 6.5 furlongs. Certainly anybody will deal with that. Race number 7, Terry, this one is a bunch of first-time starters. Again, when the show's over, head on into horseracingtoday.net. Our comments, along with a recap of the show and the video, will be posted over there. While you're there, hit the HRT gear, get yourself some Horse Racing Today sweatshirts, hats. Barbecue season, get a nice barbecue apron. I don't know if you want white, kind of get dirty real quick, but could make it look good. And of course, free picks today for Louisiana Downs. Let's talk a little bit about race number 7, Terry, and all of these babies.
Yep, 4.5 furlongs. It's a maiden race, $40,000 purse for registered Pennsylvania bred maidens, 2-year-olds.
All right, and it's always fun trying to figure out what's going to go there. Race number 6, of course, the 4 horse today for Race Masters. I wouldn't expect him to go any other way, Terry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Race 6, reverse code to 8, Boca Royalty. All right, well. All right, so at 4.5 furlongs, as you might expect, Terry, you've got to be fast to get the job done. In fact, only 2 horses know. There only been 2 races so far. One of them went wire and wire, the other closed. So who knows? One from post positions 2 or 3, the other one from 4, 5, 6, or 7. Really can't do any data as only 1 horse has any experience, and that was not a good experience for people who backed that one. So this one comes down to first-time starters. Terry, which first-time starter made the top of your list?
I like the 1, Lotta Charty. He is a first-time starter, as you said, whose dam has 6 winners from 12 starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Hidden Motive, the 5, also first-time starter. Dam has 4 winners from 5 starters, 1 stakes winner. High percentage winning jockey and trainer, and a boat workout on July 4th. 6, Capetta. Also, first-time starter. He has a trainer, wins 21% of the races in debut maiden special weight races. His breeding suits today's sprint distance, and he has a bullet workout on June 29th. The 2 Rockston is an also first-time starter whose dam has 1 winner from 2 starters and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. The very last Miami Vice pick 4 Don Johnson pick 4 that I've played, I'm going to do all in this race with 3-6, with 1-9, with 6-9-10. That's a $48 ticket.
I'm going to go with the 6 horse there, Terry, on top of this ticket. It does have a bullet and go workout. What I mean by that, according to our good friend Barry Meadows in his book, The Skeptical Handicapper, if the last workout is a bullet workout, and indeed the fastest of 49 at Parx, that angle wins at 15% or more. You see that's the case too here with the 5 horse as well, a bullet and go. And that's another reason why the 5 horse Hidden Motive gets the second call for me. Third up, I'm going to go with Roxton, the 2 horse in here, Terry. Decent works, decent breeding, and a decent trainer. And then finally, the same story for the 1, Lotta Charlie. Difference being I'm getting better odds for essentially the same mix of stats with the 2 horse over the 1. I think the 5 or 6 with those 2 bullet workouts, one of those 2 horses is going to come home first. So in this case, I'm only going to go 50 cents on the pick, 50-cent pick 4. I'm only going to go with 2 horses here. And then I'm going to go 3 and then 3 and then 5 because I really felt like that last race is an anything goes race and wanted as much coverage as I could in the back end. And that was the thinking in constructing the last of the Don Johnson pick 4s, which takes us to race number 8. This time we get to talk about some data again.
Yeah. And in race number 8, it's 6 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 4 races.
And at 6 furlongs, we talked a little bit earlier about the type of horse that wins tactical speed, be middle forward. If you're on the lead, a little bit more than a third of the time, you never give it up. A bit of a rail bonus from Modern Minus. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and out are discounted. The closer to the rail, again, the better you are. So in race 8, Terry, if you have some inside wheels, you have the inside track to the winner's circle, and boy, it sure looks like one of them is the one they're all going to have to catch.
Yeah, that 3 shows a lot of speed, and there's not any other real speed in there according to our data. The 1 has an overlay from 7.5 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 2 has an overlay from 9 to 2 to 8 to 1. And the 3 has an overlay from 4 to 5 to about 4 to 1. None of them show par plus numbers, and all shows C zones, all that. 5 is pretty low.
Again, our race shape to see if the 3 has that same speed advantage. Well, you got only a couple of horses that want to be on the lead to 4 pressure, and the 1, 2, and 5. So again, it's slightly tilted towards the middle to the back in terms of the heaviness of this race. If you're on the front, you're going to have a good shot. Sure does look like Shadowbox is going to have a very strong early race advantage over 1200. At the end of the race, however, it needs to have a little bit more because it's the slowest of the bunch at the end. Por supuesto, that one is about 2 lengths, maybe 2.5 lengths faster than everybody down the stretch. Our top total pace horse is 1200 with the speedster Shadowbox in there. Those 2 10 points clear of Rockin' Freebie. Looks like you just take the 3 and the 6, you put them together in an exacta box, and you call it a day in race number 8.
Yeah, well, I like that 3 Shadowbox on top. He drops in class today. His early speed running style will help the chances at this shorter distance today, and he has a highest speed figure at today's distance. Mil de Sancho, the 6 is my second choice, has 2 wins at Parx Racing, can handle the distance. The 1 Modern Midas is my third pick. He has a high percentage winning jockey. The rail post win a 19% clip. He has the highest last speed rating. It's tied actually with another, and his best start speed is the fastest among today's starters. The 2 is my long shot. He can handle Parx Racing, finishing in the money 47% of the time, and the distance won't be as problem as he's finished in the money 67% of the races. No additional bets for me in this race, and I'd like to answer Christopher D'Souza. Let's see, Christopher D'Souza wanted to know the 9th race instead of the 10th. He wanted to know who won that yesterday, and it was Elevated Game, the number 1 horse, paid 1060. I don't remember, but I think he might have said that was the one he liked. Do you remember if that's what he said?
I don't remember, but I suppose that's why he put that on there. There's so many.
Yeah.
I don't remember too much from day to day.
Yeah, he does pretty good picking horses out there. I think he had one last week on Thursday, which was pretty good.
No, Christopher. I hate when he puts a horse into the string of our pick fours that neither one of us has, because many times it upsets our tickets.
Oh yeah. Well, I throw his horses in a lot of times if I'm playing like pick fours or whatever. So
I did have that one. I think yesterday I had it as my third pick or second pick, somewhere in there. I missed the from having the late pick four, the third leg, which ups. I mean, I think that was the Debo race where all of our picks finished like third or below.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to go with the 3-horse Shadow Box. Gets to the lead, never gives up the lead. Very strong chance to get the lead and C-zone score in there. Along with that, this is the lowest level of its career. This horse is going to get bought. The last 2 races were not so good at all. But I look back to see what happened the last time the horse stunk up the joint 2 races in a row, and then he came back to win the third one. So maybe the same pattern here. Modern Midas is a horse that's trending in the right direction. The jockey and trainer combo, they don't really team up that often, but do have a plus 420 ROI in a handful of races. And it does have that rail advantage as a strong C-zone as well. Tops in the field. Mil Dicientos making the third start off their layoff. That last race was god-awful. Problem for the morning line favorite is he tends to run a few bad races in a row before he bounces back. So that was the first bad one. Let's see if maybe he can change that sequence of events. And then Por Supuesto, right distance for this guy 12 times, in the money 10 times. That's a pretty good percentage. 2 wins, 5 seconds, and 3 thirds. I sure hope that adds up to 10 of 12. Pretty sure it does. 2 races to go. The late double Terry starts in race number 9. Perhaps Christopher D'Souza has another win in the 9th race for us today. Before we get to that, Terry, what are the conditions?
It's 6 furlongs. It's the first allowance race, and maybe the only one today. $41,000 purse for registered Pennsylvania fillies and mares 3 years old and upwards, which have not won a Pennsylvania restricted race or races other than a maiden claiming or starter.
As we talked about with 6 furlongs a few times already, tactical inside speed is the most common way to collect the winner's check. Terry, do we have any horses in race number 9 that fit that inside speed bill?
All right. Well, in race 9, we have the 5 and the 7 that shows the speed in here, and they could go head to head to the finish line. The 1 shows the only overlay that I really see, which is 4 to 5 to 2 to 1. And then then 1, 9, and 2 and 5 show the par plus numbers, with the 1 being really nice. And then 1 also has the best C-zone number, followed up by the 7, 9, and 4.
Yeah, but none of them are any good on the C-zone scores in there. So it'll be an interesting race, too, for the big money that's at stake. Our trip handicapping, most horses want to be in the front, pressuring the horse. The 1 and 9 showing some flexibility, Confirmed Star, and True Phenomenon. Looks like if the 5 horse wants to win on the lead, it'll have to be on the lead. According to its brief career, it will be on the lead. The late speed's really the issue for that guy. At least it was in one of the races. Confirmed Star, along with She Talks Too Much, True Phenomenon. Those are your top total late pace horses. And it does look like Confirmed Star, that 1 horse, a little bit better than True Phenomenon or Undigi. A little bit of a drop off to the rest of the horses in this field, Terry, with the 5 being the lowest top total pace horse. That one made the top of my list. A different one made the top of yours.
Yeah, I like the 1 Confirmed Star as my top. She finished in the money in the 4 races of her last 5 starts, winning 2 of those races, has a high percentage winning trainer jockey. True Phenomenon, the 9 is my second choice, has won 2 races in a row, is going for a hat trick, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Sundria, the 2 is my third choice, finished in the money in her 5 out of 7 career races, winning 2 of those, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer. And the 5 is my long shot, Summer's Gift. She finished 4th in her last race as a favorite, but the trainer wins 22% of the races when bringing the beaten favorite back again, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. As I'm out of money, I cannot make any other bets.
I'm going to take a little bit of a shot. Terry's long shot is my $10 to win horse, the 5 horse, Summer's Gift. The horse debuted at Parx, was a stellar win, easy win up on the lead. Then it went off to Turfway Park to try the all-weather, and something clearly went wrong because the horse has been off since then. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with the blistering series of works that Summer's Gift has laid down at the Parx course, getting ready for its comeback. Clearly a horse for the Ben Salem course. If not confirmed star, that's going to be your favorite in here. This one's never off the board in 7 races at Parx or at the distance. Only thing is, this one likes to hang. 4 times out at the distance, 1 win, 3 seconds. This is one of those horses Tom talks about. Low odds, place second. Sundria, the 2 horse, been off for almost a year, drops from a very competitive non-graded stakes effort. And on June 15th, that workout suggests that the horse is ready to come back to work, firing. Finally, number 9, True Phenomenon. Just the right distance for this guy. 8 times out, 2 wins, 2 seconds, 3/3. That's 7 out of 8. One of the most consistent performers in the race. Really high floor, low ceiling, but you're going to get what you're going to get. It is a Dennis Green horse. It is what we think it is. To go back to your Barry Meadows question, Mr. Race Masters. Barry Meadows put out a book called The Skeptical Handicapper. It's one that you can order directly from him. And basically what he did in there is he went through thousands and thousands and thousands of races and just compiled a ton of data. And I went actually through it. I call them alpha ranks. And the reason I call them alpha ranks is the typical race in the United States has 8 horses in it. So that means just when the gates open, notwithstanding anything else, each horse has a 1 in 8 chance to win, or a 12.5% chance. I come from the financial markets, so anything above 12.5% is what they would call alpha, or it's excess performance. So I set that bar at 15. Coincidentally, I've read in other books people set the bar at 15. So anything that wins with enough data set to back it up at 15% or more is what I call an alpha angle. Soon, we're going to have all of this data done. I spent a bunch of hours fighting with AI on the weekend, trying to get a couple of log jams in Excel unjammed. I did manage to get one done. I got one more to undo. And then we're going to have all the alpha angles available for everybody. So all of the angles, I went through the entire book and picked out all of them that win at 15% or more, and then put it in Excel. And we'll tell you which horses have alpha angles, hopefully soon. I keep saying soon, but just keep running into one project after the next. All right. So we're off to race number 10. Terry, do we have time for that one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we have 5 minutes.
All right. Plenty of time to do the last race for this Tuesday at Parx. Tomorrow we'll do Delaware. And of course, we'll be no place other than the place every eye in horse racing will be on Thursday. That's opening day at the Spa, or the Toga, or Saratoga. All right, Terry, before we get to all that good stuff, how do we finish this day at Parx?
Okay, well, we start out at 6 furlongs, and it's a maiden claiming race, $10,000 claiming price. It's a $19,000 purse for registered Pennsylvania bred maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
And at 6 furlongs, we said more than a third go wire to wire. Be on the inside, be fast, Terry. And what I think is an anything can go race, maybe there's not so much to guess about as far as who will go to the front.
That's right. It looks like to me that 3 and that 9 have the best chance to go to the front. As you can see, they're pretty close, so they could go head to head. Then the 2, 3, and 10 have overlays. The 2's about 8-5 to 9-2. The 3 is from almost 3-1 to 5-1, and the 10 has an overlay from really small, from 7-2 to 9 to 4-1. None of them show any par plus numbers, and all but the 2, 6, and 10 show some kind of C zones.
And for the last time, our trip handicapping in a race to anything goes. Maybe the 3 or 9. They seem to have the best race advantage. The 4, 7, and 8, they have not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line. The 1 horse, Ode Edie, going to give it a crack for the first time. 2, 6, and 10 want to close early on. Well, this Be My Queen, a little bit quicker than Indy's Golden Girl. Victorious Victoria could be in that mix too. Everybody else, we're pretty well off the pace there. We don't know what the one's going to bring to the table. Didn't see anything in the workouts that say it's going to dash to the lead, but having that rail position, I'm sure they'll send. At the end, So Steady will be coming the hardest, although that late pace number is pedestrian, nothing great there. Dixie Music in that mix too, along with The Last Jet. As far as our top total pace horse, Be My Queen, So Steady, The Last Jet, and the 10. Those are your top 4, 3, 6, 2, 10. The winner very likely to come out of that group right there. Terry, who from that group gets the top of your ticket?
Well, I'm going for the one horse, Confirmed Star. She finished in the money in 4 of her last 5 starts, winning 2 of the races, and she has a high percentage winning
I
trainer.
think we're in race 10.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going for the 9. I'm sorry. Indy's Golden Girl. She ran second versus similar in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 27% of the races in maiden claiming races. And then Dixie Music, the 10, finished second versus similar in her last race, has a highest last race speed rating, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Goes So Steady, the 6th, third choice. Drops in class today. Best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Be My Queen is the long shot, the 3. Drops in class today, and her early speed running style will help her chances.
I'm going to go with Dixie Music, top last race speed figure. Another book, Andrew Byers' book, said anytime a horse has a speed figure that's 3 points higher than the next closest horse in the field, that's definitely one you want to focus on. Dixie Music was 7 points better than the next closest competitor last time out and did run better fractions at 7 furlongs than it did at 6 furlongs. Should be faster today again, cutting back. Number 3, Be My Queen, is the biggest class dropper in the field. Maybe gets to the front and never gives it up. That's its way to the winner's circle. I'm going to go with a little bit of a shot in here. Norho's Gamble, a little bit of a gamble. I think that's the appropriate word. Big early pop in its last race. Cutting back in distance helps, as that last race was by far its best. Maybe the lights coming on. And then finally, 6 horse So Steady was a tough call over Terry's top pick, the 9, Indy's Golden Girl, but the 9 is coming in from Penn. If you've watched this show long enough, you know how I feel about Penn shippers at Parx. Far more often than not, avoiding them works out to my benefit. Although when they do pop, I pay the price because I downgrade them all the time. No final picks for me as race 2 there, walking to the gates. We'll tell you what happens there. Just a quick view of all of our picks today. That 6 horse won at 1-5. That's what we thought it would go off. It acted like a 1-5. The 4 horse stinging me in there for second. You see what we have for the rest of this day. Hopefully a lot of winners like the 6 horse in the opener, just not at 1-5 odds. In race 2, the 6 horse right now is Dixie Groove, is your favorite at 9-5. The 2 horse, Akna, coming down from 6-1 to 2-1 to be your second choice in there. And then next up is the 5 horse, Lulu's Dancer, the 5 horse at 5-2. Our pick 4 start here. Looks like a little bit of a long shot in that 1 horse, Cup of Life. Maybe that one could steal it. I just hope the 5 doesn't win, because I said circle that one when I tossed it out of my pick 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody else, Bella Maria, the 4 horse, Race Masters 4 across the day. Looks like the value in this race is the 5 horse at 5-2, because our simulated odds say it should be much lower than that, probably closer to another 1-5 horse in here. And of course, I tossed it out because that's what I do. Just dumb things. We're waiting on the 6, Dixie Groove and Oui Madame, to find their way into the gates for race number 2. And the soft, soothing tones of Jessica Paquette to tell us how the race goes, if you're watching on your favorite horse racing betting app. Looks like the 5 horse is acting up a little bit, trying to straighten out its head. It did get off to a little bit of a rough start. The 6 horse kind of broke funky. The 3 horse, CC Unified, is the one that got to the lead. There goes that 1 horse down on the rail. That long shot in there with a chance maybe to get in there. In between horses, it looks like it is the 2 horse. So the 1 and the 2 go out to the front, with the 1 horse setting the tone at 30-1. Mr. Terry, I hope that one stays on the front all the way around the track. I doubt it. It looks like right now on the rail horse, the 3-horse on the rail is really trying to get engaged. 2 horses are going to have a difficult trip trying to split horses. The 1 horse, I don't know what the jockey's doing there, going 3 up the track. That's a kind of a weird spot to be in. The 1 horse I didn't want to be in the mix, the 5-horse, the one I said you can circle. That one's a distant 3rd and 4th. It looks like it's tiring. The 6-horse is coming with the most energy at the end. The 3-horse right now continues to set the tone. Of course, that's not going to be one that Terry and I want to win because it's in neither of our pick 4s. The 2-horse is trying to close ground on the outside of the 3. Can't really get him to shift his leads, though. The 3-horse looks like it's probably going to go wire to wire unless that 2-horse can find a little bit of energy here at the end of the race. Doesn't look like he's going to. The 6-horse is trying to make a mix out of it, but it is the 3-horse. The 3, the 6, the 2. That is your running order in race number 2. Destroying our pick 4s, unfortunately, Terry, but you did have the 3 in there as your long shot.
Yeah, I could have put the 3 in because I had a lot of money left for this pick 4, but I kind of thought it was going to be, a really cheap pick 4, so I didn't go that way.
All right. Well, tomorrow the way we're going to go is to Delaware Park. Hopefully the rest of this day we go a little bit better than we did in that second race there. I suspect that we will turn it around. Tomorrow we'll get a chance to take our talents to Delaware Park and then Saratoga. Looking forward to that. Friday, Foreign Fridays, where Tom and I have been finding plenty of winners overseas. That will be Newmarket, I believe, if I remember correctly. Keep an eye on all of our social sites. Terry, can people subscribe and follow us?
Yep, that's right. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that today and hit the bell so you're notified about all the different programs we have. And then go down there, copy that link, and share it with all your relatives, friends, neighbors, everybody you know, so they could have a chance to come and see what they think about our TV channel or YouTube channel, which I think they'll really like. And then go to our Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, social sites, X, and Threads at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like. And also, I think it's good that the heat's kind of calmed down here in the West. Today should only be 90 after we had some heat that was over 100 for a few days. So,
All right, folks, 92 degrees out at Parx today. So it's hopefully we get a little bit hotter than our pick did here in race number 2, although Terry's long shot bringing the race home. But our pick 4, nowhere to be found. Tomorrow you'll find us again for Delaware Park. But whatever you're doing for the rest of this terrific Terry Tuesday, please treat people like you want to be treated. Of course, no matter what your endeavors are, we hope they're filled with God's grace, God's favor, and every single thing you do today ends up
in the winner's circle.
Indeed. Make it a terrific Terry Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Hump Day, Delaware Park.